What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's foreign ministry says it's closely watching the Honduras election after multiple Honduran presidential candidates endorsed re-establishing diplomatic relations with Taiwan.
关于洪都拉斯的总统大选，外交部持续关注红国的总统选情发展。对于任何有助于提升台湾国际地位以及拓展台湾外交空间的可能，外交部也都以维护国家尊严与利益，同时秉持着平等互惠的原则来慎重看待。
Honduran President Xiomara Castro cut ties with Taiwan in 2023, switching diplomatic relations to China. That decision was understood to be partly due to Honduras' significant debt at the time. But on the campaign trail for the upcoming November presidential election, multiple candidates have expressed wanting to re-establish formal relations with Taiwan, a move that would increase Taipei's allies from 12 to 13. Weather officials have issued a sea warning for Typhoon Podul as it approaches Taiwan from the east. The warning covers waters around much of the southern half of the country. Podul strengthened from a severe tropical storm into a moderate typhoon overnight. Authorities issued the warning early on Tuesday and are expecting to issue a land warning later in the day. Meanwhile, Premier Zhuo Rongtai reported to lawmakers about proposed disaster relief and prevention legislation. He says the government's response to a recent chain of storms in the southwest was lacking.
我也承认，我们面对这样强风豪雨，我们的韧性不足。我们面对这样的电力、电讯的破坏情况底下，我们修复的速度不足。我们面对这种复合性、连续性的灾害底下，我们去媒合、整合的能力不足。
Weather officials expect Typhoon Podul to make landfall along the southeast coast on Wednesday morning. As the typhoon nears, Taiwan lawmakers hope to improve disaster recovery and prevention. They're reviewing laws that could include funding to remove dangerous structures and hoping to tighten collaboration between local and central governments. Irene Ling reports.
After two storms ravaged Taiwan's southwest, and with another now heading towards the east coast, two ruling Democratic Progressive Party lawmakers are here in Taipei to call for amendments to a pair of disaster relief and prevention proposals. The $1.87 billion relief draft is designed to help affected communities help rebuild homes and infrastructure after large storms and subsequent intense rainfall hit the southwest hard. The cabinet approved the draft on August 7th. But these legislators say the current drafts don't do enough to address some key issues. Lin Jianxun says the central government underestimates the scale of the damage. He points to the importance of a stable communication system during times of crisis and calls for the central government's help in removing a type of roofing and wall material that becomes toxic when ruptured.
这个台风等于来检验我们的基础建设，例如。 一开始造成很大恐慌，就是因为灾区跟外界完全断了通信。如果全线的把它的电缆光纤地下化给强化了，我们过去所谓偏远地方，就是沿海地带的一个基础设施，灾后的拆除重建有一个特别棘手的东西，就是石棉瓦，因为石棉瓦它是有毒的，石棉瓦的拆除、整理以及运送，这个要。 特别在这个有一个特别的预算，应该把它抓出来。
Meanwhile, Guo Guowen says the Disaster Prevention and Protection Act, which regulates relationships between government bodies responsible for disaster response, also needs to change. He says the Central Emergency Operations Center should have more authority in commanding disaster relief efforts in regional areas.
该县市应变中心 无能力予以应变的时候，跨县市的时候，整个中央就应该要成立所谓的跨县市的这个救灾协调中心。那怎么只有协调呢？应该把协调提升为指挥中心。那这指挥中心的时候呢，要看灾情的大小跟范围，把这个指挥官可以到这个行政院长，甚至到国安层级的总统。
The two lawmakers also point to recovery in local economies, such as agriculture, arts, and tourism, and say compensation for farmers should be prioritized to protect Taiwan's food security. The two drafts are still being processed in the legislature, but time is running short for this legislation and for people in affected areas as Typhoon Podul fast approaches. Luvi Li and Irene Lin in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a 90-day pause for tariffs on China, which could have reached more than 100%. The delay comes alongside a side deal with NVIDIA over chip sales to China and reported demands from Beijing for the U.S. to ease export controls. Chris Gorin reports.
With just hours to go before U.S. tariffs on China were set to take effect, U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the possibility of further talks.
We've been dealing very nicely with China, as you probably have heard. They have tremendous tariffs that they're paying to the United States of America, and we'll see what happens. They've been dealing quite nicely. The relationship is very good with President Xi and myself.
Later that night, the White House issued an executive order and a joint statement with Beijing, both sides agreeing to delay reciprocal tariffs for an additional 90 days as they work toward a trade deal. The deal pulls back what would have been up to 145% tariffs on China. Trump also confirmed NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang agreed to pay 15% of NVIDIA's China chip revenues to the U.S. government for licenses to sell its H20 AI chip in China, hinting that NVIDIA's next-generation Blackwell chips could also be sold there with conditions.
I released them only from the H20. Now, on the Blackwell, I think he's coming to see me again about that, but that will be a unenhanced version of the big one.
Huang has long argued that U.S. chipmakers should stay active in China and denies Chinese concerns that NVIDIA chips allow for backdoor controls.
As a technology provider, we need customers. All providers need customers. You can't be complacent about that. And the unintended consequences, the long-term consequences of not participating in the China market, is unknown. But I doubt that it's positive.
Beijing is reportedly pushing for looser U.S. export controls as part of trade talks, especially on high-bandwidth memory, or HBM, a key bottleneck for Chinese AI systems. With another 90 days on the clock, both sides will see what kind of chips, bargaining or otherwise, they're willing to trade to get what they want. Joseph Wu and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
U.S. President Donald Trump says he will discuss territory swaps between Ukraine and Russia during his upcoming meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska.
But I want to have a meeting set up between the two leaders because there'll be some land swapping going on. I know that through Russia and through conversations with everybody. To the good, for the good of Ukraine. Good stuff, not bad stuff. Also, some bad stuff for both. So there's good and there's bad.
Neither Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky or any European representatives have been invited to the meeting on Friday. Zelensky has said multiple times that his country would not give up territory in exchange for a peace deal. He and many European leaders have said that ceding land would create further security problems for Ukraine and Europe.
Перше, суверенітет і територіальна цілісність України мають поважатися. Друге, питання щодо війни проти України мають вирішуватись тільки за участі України. Третє, Росія повинна робити необхідні кроки, щоб закінчити цю війну.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine has lasted 3 years and is the deadliest war in Europe since World War II. The fate of Hong Kong pro-democracy mogul Jimmy Lai hangs in the balance as his high-profile trial begins his closing submissions this week. Those will last around 8 days, with a final verdict due in the coming months. The former publisher was arrested in 2020 under the controversial national security law. Lai has pleaded not guilty to charges of foreign collusion and has been held in solitary confinement for more than 1,600 days. Hong Kong authorities say he has been given a fair trial, but his case has drawn international criticism, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying he would secure Lai's release. An exhibition in Osaka aims to show the true colors of Taiwan in a unique way. Our reporter Senichi went to the Japanese city to find out what's on display.
This is the sound of Taiwan, brought to visitors at Taiwan Spectrum, an exhibition held as part of We Taiwan, a major event aimed at showcasing the country's culture in Osaka. Visitors are given a multi-sensory experience, guided through 3 zones: True Color of Taiwan, Light-Woven Nature, and Island Soundscape, each showcasing Taiwan's geography, history, and culture.
台湾光谱是这次We台湾一个很重要的以视觉艺术出发的一个展览。那台湾光谱是我们透过台湾人的手、眼睛、脚步去看到的台湾色彩，所以你会看到这种视觉艺术创造出来的绘画色彩、手染的色彩跟声音听到的色彩。那我们希望其实可以把台湾的多彩混融这样的特性呈现在这个展览当中。
The immersive theater of True Color of Taiwan portrays a sketcher who travels through time, exploring the achievements of Taiwanese artists, such as pioneer modern sculptor Huang Tushui and iconic painter Chen Shenpo, known for his mastery of Western techniques.
这个写生的人，当然在角色设定上就是陈澄波的身影这样。那因为我们也理解说，在那个年代里要画画，要用艺术表达，要有言论的这个发表，其实大部分都是要透过文字跟绘画、音乐这样。所以我认为那个时代的创作是除了饱满丰富这个层次以外，它还包含了一些很内敛的想要诉说的这种土地情感。
And through the integration of AI, masterpieces by Taiwan's iconic artists are reimagined in Japan.
原作事实上就只有那么一幅，很难带去旅行。但我们透过一个这样的方法，可以让台湾的作品用2、3种像多媒体的呈现方式，这种很真实的这种拟真影评的方式去带给世界去看。
And it's not just the artists from the past that have captured visitors' attention. This indigo tie-dye artwork, Mother River of Taiwan, by Chen Jingling, is also leaving a strong impression here. It took Ling over 1,000 hours to complete, making it his most difficult piece to accomplish in decades.
它需要分区域、分块面，一个部分一个部分把它衔接起来，它没有办法整个放到染缸里边去染，它必须要把不染的地方包扎起来，然后分区的包扎，所以它要染很多次。
Many Japanese people here say the piece is unlike anything they've seen before.
I'd never seen much of this dyeing technique before. There was a lot I didn't know. It's all very interesting.
And some visitors are here not just for the art, but because they have a soft spot for Taiwan.
因为我们喜欢台湾。台湾の人やっぱり一番。Taiwanese people are very friendly and cheerful. If you are lost, they will call out. And if you are unsure of what you should do, you don't even have to say anything. They will call out. That's what's left the biggest impression. I've been many times and enjoyed myself.
From immersive theaters to artworks and evocative sounds, Taiwan Spectrum aims to be more than just an exhibition. Whether it's the clamor of temples or the quiet brushstrokes of master painters, Taiwan Spectrum here reminds its visitors that Taiwan's creative power, and more importantly its people, will continue to thrive and evolve. Devon Tai, PG Strong and Sanichi in Osaka for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, check out these dogs staying cool during a heat wave at a dog-only swimming pool in Spain. I'm Yvonne Yang, take care, and I'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app.